Hey guys, it's Stacy, and today I'm here to do my first wrap-up of the year. I read a total of 12 books this month. I don't know if I'll finish the book I'm currently reading, but if I do, I will put the star rating that I gave it on the screen. But that book is The Blood of Olympus. I don't know if I'll finish it today or tomorrow, but if I finish it in January, I'll put the rating on the screen or whatever. But yeah, I read 12 books this month. It's the first time in like almost a year that, over a year, that I've read more than like 5 books. Last January I read 9 books for that first month, but then it kind of just went downhill. And I guess I was just in a really big reading slump all last year, but I think I'm finally out of it because I did read 12 books, and I was really sick at the beginning of the year. So that is a big reason why I read a bunch of these books, because all I did was read and sleep, read and sleep. Perks of having the flu. But let's just get on with these 12. So the first book I read this year was Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I freaking loved it. I love these books so much. I don't know if I loved it more than Illuminae, because I'm really attached to Ezra and Katie in Illuminae, so I don't know if I'm super, if I love this one more. Pretty sure I still love Illuminae more. There was one thing I didn't really like about this. There was drug use in it, and I don't like stuff like that. Kind of makes me uncomfortable. I don't like reading about it, but I mean, it only happened for the first half of the book, and then the other half they're dying. But I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I freaking loved it. I love this series. I cannot wait for the third one to come out. Sad it's ending, but I love these. The next book I read was Switched by Amanda Hocking, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. This was just a really fun YA read. There was angst, there was romance, there was weird trolls, and I really actually enjoyed this book. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to read the other 2. These are just really easy reads, and I really enjoyed it. So 3 out of 5 stars for this, because I did really enjoy it. This next one I might get a lot of crap for what I rated it, but it is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I gave this 2.5, 2.75 out of 5 stars. This book didn't make me feel anything. It was really sad, and I felt sympathy for the characters and stuff, and I did really enjoy the writing, because Patrick Ness has kind of an easy, clean writing style, but it didn't, make my heart hurt the way everybody else does. This book gets 5 out of 5 stars for most people. Maybe it's because I didn't read the picture version, I read this one, but it's still, it was enjoyable when I read it in a day, because, it's not that big. It's only 200 and something pages. But it just didn't do for me what I wanted it to do. I wanted to sob uncontrollably, and this book didn't do it for me, so yeah, I'm sorry if you get offended by me giving it a 2-star. The next book I read was Munchausen by PC Cass, and I gave this 2 out of 5 stars. I did a whole review on this, so I'm not going to go into what I really thought about it, because I did do a pretty long review about this book. But it was just way too long, and I know this is her first real fantasy book, but there was no explanations. It was too long. It was a whirlwind of things happening, and a big tornado, and it ended up this book. So the next 3 books, I read the first 3 books in a middle grade series, and that is the first 3 books in the Found series by Margaret Peterson Haddix. The first one, Found, the second one, Scent, and the third one, Sabotage. I gave this one 4 stars, and these 2 3 stars. These were just really fun middle grade reads. Exactly what I needed at the time. I just needed something very, adventurous, but still really cute and a lot of fun. And this series is a lot of fun. It's about time travel and these kids, babies on a plane, and it's just fun. I know this series is a lot older, but I really enjoyed these books, and I cannot wait to finish this series. This next book is probably going to be one of my favorite books of the year. It already is, and that is The Rosen My Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I freaking love this book. I love The Wrath and the Dawn, but I love this one so much more happened in this. The characters develop so much. The romance is what I live for in this book. I freaking love this book so much, and I'm so sad that it's just a duology, but I cannot wait for The Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. And this book was beautiful. It made me cry. I just had the time of my life with this freaking book, and I loved it. If you have not read this duology, please read it, because if you don't like the first one, at least give the second one a try, because it's just a duology, so it's not like you'd have to read like 5 books to get to the good one. It's just like, I love the first one, but this one's so freaking amazing. These next 2 books were the first 2 in a trilogy, and that is Wildfire and Embers and Echoes. These are the first 2 books in the Wildfire trilogy by Karsten Knight. I gave this one 3 stars and this one 4 stars. These are a lot of fun. There's a lot of mythology in them and a lot of diversity. Again, I don't know if the diversity is well represented in these books. I don't know if it's own voices or not. But every character is from like a different place, like Haiti, or one's from India, one's Asian, so it's just a fun time. And this one was kind of all over the place and a little like not well thought out, but it was still a lot of fun and I enjoyed reading it. But this one, the author just developed so much as a writer in this one. Like, it was so much more well developed. The characters were so much more well developed, and I freaking love these 2 books, and I cannot wait to read the 3rd and the last one, because I think it's gonna be just as good or even better. But if you like mythology and you like volcano goddesses, read this series. And the next book I read was Roseblood by A.G. Howard, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I wanted more out of this. I wanted it to be more creepy and, you know, like make your skin crawl type thing, like the Phantom of the Opera. But it wasn't. But it was still really enjoyable. This takes place at the Roseblood School in like France, I think it is, or Paris. But it is like a Phantom of the Opera telling, but where the world knows that the Phantom of the Opera, like, the story exists in this world, which I thought was really neat. That was a different spin on like a retelling or a reimagining. But we follow the main character, Rune, as she goes to school, and she has a gift for singing, but like when she sings, she gets really weak and like passes out. But then she meets Thorn, and Thorn doesn't actually go to that school, but he's there, and Thorn is great. I really liked Rune as well. She did kind of have a pity party through most of this book, but I still kind of enjoyed her. But yeah, I did really enjoy this, and I'm glad I read it, and I'm glad I bought it, because this book is beautiful. So yeah, this last book I read, I'm so happy that I finally picked it up, because it was everything I needed and more, and that is In the Afterlife by Alexandra Bracken. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I freaking love this. For Summary Jose books, I always put a year in between reading them, and I wish I didn't do that. But this book was everything I needed and more in a conclusion, and I wish it had an epilogue, but I did wish it had an epilogue, but it doesn't. But it was everything, like, it tugging at my heartstrings. It was slow at some points because it was like building up to a lot of stuff, but it was so amazing. Ruby and Liam's relationship just takes a turn for the worse, but then it just gets so much better, and like their relationship is one of my top relationships ever. Like, Ruby and Liam are everything I want and more and need and more. They are what I am here for. Ruby and freaking Liam, and I love the gang, like Chubbs and Vida, and I freaking love these books. I love this series. Alexandra Bracken is an auto-buy author for me now, and I love this book. I love it. I love this whole trilogy, but especially this book. So that is it for my January wrap-up. Comment what you read this month, or if you've read any of these and what you thought about them, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye!